What's up, guys? I'm Trader Dan. I'm going to talk about TopStepTrader, OneUpTrader, pros and cons of each. I am funded by both of these funded accounts, and I'm here to just start off and prove to you that I am funded by them, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. Everything that I put on my channel and on social media, I use. So when I post about Fibonacci trading, when I post about TopStep, OneUp, I use them. I'm not going to promote anything or show anything that I wouldn't do myself. So the benefits of having a funded program, pretty simply put, you don't have to risk your own money. And when you're first starting out with trading, I think that's huge because it kind of takes away the psychological factor of it, and you can just go to work on your strategy and get it done. So for me, TopStepTrader was the first one that I got funded by. This was a little bit over a year ago. You can see here, congratulations, you earned a funded account. And then you go ahead and fill out the agreement, pay the exchange fees there, and you get your funded account. And then OneUpTrader, I got funded back in February, so not that long ago, really less than a year, and 50K account. So was TopStep. TopStep was also a 50K account that I got funded for. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons here, and then which one I prefer. And so starting off, we have TopStepTrader. They have a two-step program that you have to complete, and then you get a funded account. So it's pretty simply put here. I mean, step one, prove you can profit. Step two, manage your risk. And then third step, get funded, make real money. You keep your first $5,000 and then 80% after that. Okay, so TopStepTrader. Let's say you were like me and chose the 50K account. It's going to cost you $165 a month. Okay, and that's until you pass. Once you are funded, that fee goes away. You no longer pay $165 a month. That's only to get funded. And so we have a two-step program here like we already talked about. But you have a daily loss limit of $1,000 and a weekly loss limit of $1,000. Your trailing max drawdown is $2,000, and your profit target is $3,000. What does this all mean? Daily loss limit, pretty obvious. You cannot lose more than $1,000 in a day. Weekly loss limit, same idea. You cannot lose more than $1,000 in a week. Here's the first con of TopStepTrader. The rule set is pretty tight. You have to be very consistent and very tight with your rule set to be able to continue a program like this. Because when you think about it here, if you have a loser of $500 on Monday and a loser of $400 on Tuesday, now you're down $900 for the week, and your weekly loss limit is $1,000. You can only lose $100 more in the week. That's very tight and hard to think about doing and coming back from. OneUpTrader, if we go here, they don't have a weekly loss limit. So there's the first pro of OneUpTrader. The rule set is a little bit more lenient. Okay, there is no weekly loss limit. The daily loss limit is $1,250. This is for the same account, 50K. $1,250 is the daily loss limit, $1,000 for TopStep. So, TopStep is pretty tight with that rule set. Also, if we go back to the drawdown, it's $2,000. On OneUpTrader, it's $2,500. So again, more lenient there in the rule set. And the profit target is still the same, $3,000. Also, TopStepTrader is 2 steps. You have to do this twice. OneUpTrader is 1 step. You have to do this once. Okay, so OneUpTrader, in my opinion, when you're going into the evaluation, I just think is better because you don't have 2 steps and you don't have these tight rules of the daily loss, weekly loss limit. You have a daily loss limit, but it's actually larger. It's $1,250 versus $1,000. There is no weekly loss limit for OneUpTrader, so that helps you. And the trailing max drawdown is $2,000, whereas OneUpTrader is $2,500. Now, what is a trailing max drawdown? So a trailing max drawdown, that's why I have this tab here. Everybody asks about this. So essentially, here's the example they gave. You have a 50K account, right? And after day 1, you go to 51,000. You have a good start. Well, for TopStepTrader, trailing drawdown is $2,000. So it's going to trail you $2,000 until you get to the $50,000 break-even point where you started. So from 50 to 51,000, you're going to go up to 49,000. Then it goes to 51,500. So your trailing drawdown will go to 49,500. But here, look, we actually go down in value, right? We move down to about 50,750 or so, it would seem. And our trailing drawdown doesn't change. It stays where it is, right? It's not going to go any lower than it ever gets, but it will stop moving up once it gets to that starting price of 50,000. So you can see here the very next day we get up above 53,000, and so now 50,000 will be the highest that the trailing drawdown goes. So the trailing drawdown just goes up until the start point of the account. And they do this that way they protect their risk, right? Like if you get to 52,000 and then go back down to 50,000, they actually lose no money as a funded partner because they closed your account before you could go negative. That helps them not lose so much value with their accounts. So that's what the trailing drawdown is. TopStepTrader is a $2,000 trailing drawdown. OneUpTrader is a $2,500 trailing drawdown. So they're going to have more leniency there on OneUpTrader. Those are the pros right there immediately for OneUpTrader to get funded with them instead of TopStep. Now, some of the pros for TopStepTrader, the platform. OneUpTrader uses NinjaTrader. That's what they recommend. That's what I use for them as well. I don't mind NinjaTrader. It's a really good platform, but it is Windows only, so you have to have a Windows computer. And you know, it reminds me of just the vintage Windows style. It doesn't seem modern. You know, it seems more outdated, to be honest. It's still a good platform. It does what it needs to do. But I do like TopStep's platform better. They recommend Tradeovate, which is what I use with them, and I like Tradeovate a lot. I do like it a lot. The software is really nice and modern. It's very user-friendly. There's an app you can run on your phone, so if I'm ever out doing something, I got to check some positions or take some orders off, whatever it may be, I can do that. With NinjaTrader, you can't do that. So that's a really good perk there that TopStepTrader has, is their platform. It has a website, desktop, and an app. That's really good, really good. NinjaTrader is only a desktop, so there is no application, there is no website, so that makes it a little more difficult when you have to manage your trades on the go. Another pro for TopStep would be the fees when you withdraw. See, I'm from the United States, so when I withdraw from TopStepTrader, there are no fees for me. When I withdraw from OneUpTrader, which is funded by MES Capital, because they're in a different country, there's international fees, I end up paying about $35 when I withdraw profits from them. So it's not a whole lot, but it's a lot more than zero. So that's, you know, one of the perks that the TopStep has, is that there are no withdrawal fees. But there is definitely one unfortunate catch with TopStepTrader, and that is that you have to pay data exchange fees. Now, the reason you do this is because technically, by being a funded trader, you are using professional data, and so you have to pay for that license. Now, with TopStepTrader, they make you pay for that. So if you want to trade, you know, the indices like the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and also oil, you're going to have to pay $210 a month because it's $105 for each exchange. So that's why I only trade crude oil on TopStepTrader. I only trade crude oil. That way I'm only spending $105 a month on those data fees. With MES Capital, there are no data fees. So they cover those for you. So with MES Capital, I'll trade the indices, I'll trade oil, occasionally I'll trade gold, but really I'm just doing S&P, NASDAQ, occasionally Dow Jones, and then crude oil. So because I don't have to pay for all those data fees on MES Capital, that's why I do them there. And in TopStepTrader, I only do crude oil to kind of limit my expenses there with that one. But a big plus with OneUpTrader, like I've said, is no data fees. They're one step instead of two steps. Their rule set is more lenient, right? You don't have to worry about having a daily loss and a weekly loss. It's just the daily loss. And the drawdown is actually larger for you than TopStep. The profit target is still the same at $3,000. It's $150 a month to try out for this account. On TopStepTrader, it's $165 a month to try out for the same account with a tighter rule set. So that's why I would prefer OneUpTrader. I did TopStepTrader, that's the only one I've heard about. And then once I heard about OneUpTrader, I got funded by them to have two funded partners. Also, I'm trying to teach people how to trade, and to prove that I know how to trade and I'm doing it well, what better way than to get funded and then teach people the same methods that I use to get funded. But now that we kind of gotten that out of the way, and I would prefer OneUpTrader. People that are in my trade room that ask, I tell them the same thing that I just told you guys, and OneUpTrader to me is the better one to go with. Now, one thing I'll talk about as well is just the other rules that are within these funded trading accounts is the major economic releases and the scaling plan. Both of these programs will use these as a rule set. So the major economic releases, what does that mean? Well, if you go to forexfactory.com, you'll see pretty much all the economic releases for that day. And we just click this link here. This will show us, basically it's just saying that there's going to be different economic events that occur. You cannot be in any position 1 minute before, and you cannot be in a position until after 1 minute after the economic release. So for me, that works out fine because I don't trade economic releases anyways. For some people, that's a burden to them, but for me, it is not. As an example, crude oil, every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m., they have their inventory report. Let's say there's a holiday or something, it'll always be on that Wednesday at 10:30. And so I know that at 10:29, I cannot have a position in oil. 10:30, I cannot have a position in oil. And then after 10:31, I can go ahead and get a position in oil, and that would be okay. But I don't trade crude oil until after the report on Wednesdays, just kind of limit my exposure to that economic event. But there's also economic events for the indices, for gold, et cetera. There's so many products that are affected by economic events. So it's important to know them anyways, regardless of if you follow these steps or not. It's important, or these rule sets, it's important to know these events because they are going to shift the market in a way that you need to understand why that happened, and typically it results from these economic releases being put out. And OneUpTrader is the same way. You're going to have the economic events as well. I'm sure they have it somewhere here, but not really seeing it. But anyways, a big, and also the scaling plan that we just mentioned. So what that means is that we talked about how OneUpTrader you can have 6 contracts in the 50K account. TopStepTrader you can have up to 5 contracts in the 50K account. But when you first start out, you might only be able to use 2. And then once you get to $1,500 in profit, now you can use 3 or 4. And then as you go, you get to that max number, and etc. But a big rule here in OneUpTrader is the consistency rule. And if you trade with the plan and you follow your plan and you have a system like I do and that I teach, then this probably shouldn't be an issue. But if you're a little bit more erratic and you have crazy winners and then kind of small winners, this might be a problem for you. So the consistency rule is you must demonstrate the ability to trade in a consistent and regular trading pattern. Traders must have any 3 trading days net profits total summed up to equal 80% of the largest day in profit. So simply, like, what are they saying? Well, they're saying, let's say you have a day where you make $1,000. Okay, you have to take 80% of $1,000, and say $1,000 is your largest day trading. Okay, so you have 80% of 1,000 is $800. So your second, third, and fourth largest trading day, right? The next 3 largest trading days for you have to equal $800 or more. That way, it doesn't seem like you just had one crazy trade and that's allowing you to be funded and everything else wasn't that great. That's the consistency rule. And I'm sure they have an example in here if we were to go to the frequently asked questions. And we can go to the valuation rules and parameters here. Consistency, I'm not giving an example. You can go back and try. Okay, consistency example. Here we go. So best trading day is $1,000. 80% of largest trading day is $800. So the next 3 trading days, right? Second best trading day, third best trading day, fourth best trading day, 400, 300, 240. So that's 700, 940. So $940 is greater than 800. So then you would be over the $800 limit, which would pass you for the consistency rule. That's what that means. So I hope this video helped. Like I said, I am a funded trader for TopStepTrader and OneUpTrader, and I've had great experiences with both of them. I have withdrawn profits. I've been paid. I passed, and I was given my funded account immediately. Both programs have great customer service. If you reach out, they will get back to you pretty quickly. So, I highly recommend if you're a new trader and just trying to get funded, I would definitely do this over your own account. And here's a great reason why that I tell everybody that I try to get involved with funded trading. If you think that you're a really good trader and you go get your own account and say you put in $2,000 of your own money and you lose that $2,000, well, what was that for? That's not good for you. But if you have $2,000 and you go to the evaluation and it costs you $150 a month to try out, and in 10 months you still don't pass. So in 10 months you still lose. You're just not a consistent trader. You're not profitable. You're not doing well. Even though you're not really doing well with trading, you're only going to lose $150 in that evaluation times the 10 months that we just said. So you're losing $1,500. Whereas if you started out trading with your own money, you would have lost $2,000. So to me, it's almost like a glorified demo account by doing the funded route, because it's allowing you to gain experience and not have your own emotions or psychological you know, faults in the way. So it's just letting you trade and not have to worry about the capital, which is really big when you're first starting. So I think it's very, very important when you first start trading to try to use someone else's money. And what better way than a funded partner here that is guaranteeing you funding if you pass their evaluation. And like I said, I've been funded by both of these firms, and I teach the same strategies that I use to get funded to the members in my trade room. So in the link, I will include the link to join my trade room. And if you use the code FundedTrader as a coupon code, type in FundedTrader, and you will receive 50% off the first month of my trade room. And in the trade room, we cover strategy. We cover, there's videos going over all the strategies. There's documents going over the strategies. We all talk together to go over the markets. Tuesday, Thursday, we trade live in the morning. Sunday night, we do review sessions to cover anything that anybody's struggling with, and we cover all that. We go over investing as well. We look at some stocks we want to invest in. It's a really good place to just grow as a trader and then eventually become a funded trader as well. And that's pretty much it. I also do one-on-one sessions, but I would recommend joining the trade room first to see if you like the way we trade and everything with that. But again, use the coupon code FundedTrader. You'll receive 50% off the first month. And I hope this video helps, and I will see you guys in the next one.